Hi. So how much does it cost to develop an IoT device? Yeah, so we write as with dev something called technical proposal, and we'll take you through our template and example. What does it include? Yeah, so we always start with a client and what is the client, what is it about, what your company is doing, and then we move to a problem that you're trying to solve. That includes both the problem that your product solve on the market, but also specifically what you need us to help with. Then we actually try to define the business scope. So just for that engagement, for the technical proposal itself, write down some requirements, and then we provide a high-level architecture, what is involved in a language that your not only your CTO but also your CFO, so your business people make decision people can understand. And at the end is the most important part, which is the list of milestones and estimates in hours, which indicate the cost of the project. Yeah, so that's the quick overview. Let's look at the example, so it will be easier to understand. This is a proposal of our hypothetical client, and this is exactly a clone of a project we did in the past. So if, this is a device that monitors temperature and level of current, and provides that to on the user interface. So there's a display and sends the email when some thresholds are met. So we don't want to disclose too much of the information about the end client, but basically this project is based on this is information about the client, what is the problem he's trying to solve. We quite often copy elements from their website here for our technical team to be also familiar with this, and the problem that the client is trying to solve. So we said that's about battery power device. It measures temperature and 3 sensors, and also voltage input simultaneously, and there are some thresholds, and if they are met, the email is sent. Yeah, so we also include quite often relevant documentation from clients that here in this case they are under and they are confidential, so we are not sharing them. And then we describe the business scope, how we may be trying to implement this. So there's to send up to 10 emails when there's alert, and that this is just an MVP of the product. Yeah, and what is the interface in general. Yeah, this is a small project, so there's not that much involved, and a lot of information is quite often in the attached documents from the client. The high-level architecture is that this is ESP32 microprocessor with 3 RTOS system, and then there's some sensors, temperature sensors, and voltage measurements, and there's a display for the user to look at this, and in the threshold is met, it is sent to user. Yeah, so that's quite easy. Then we go to in detail definition what's going on in them, and the project is divided into milestones. So the milestones are usually detailed enough to understand what we're trying to build. And they always have a time estimate, mean and max hours to be spent on that project, and potential risks. In this case, if some modules are not ready, we may need to redesign this component. This particular project is a typical project where we both do electronics design and firmware development. Yeah, so there's a PCB section for the electronics design, and we usually do 2 to 3 revisions of the PCB design, and this is the typical time to develop. First we need to list components, then we need to draw schematics, how they are connected, and then we do layout, how they are placed on the PCB so they can be manufactured, and then we do a battery optimization and some other testing, and so on. Yeah. In the firmware development section, so the software that goes inside the device, we usually start from initial setup analysis, where we analyze the problem. We try to write down Jira tickets and stories, user stories. There's a user interface, so we need to define how the user will interact with this system, and there might be some potential new requirements coming out from that stage. So there's a risk, yeah, and this is immediately estimated, yeah. And then in this case, we were doing bespoke Wi-Fi controller as well, and display controller, yeah, because we need to control the Wi-Fi connectivity and display, because for the ESP32 microcontroller, and we connecting to the temperature sensor and to the battery. We need to know the battery lifetime in this case, and there's some thresholds. This device is actually for monitoring external battery and to measure the voltage around that. And then there's each of the milestones have estimate minimum hours, maximum hours, and what are the risks and how they can potentially impact the timeline. We have all of the milestones listed. Usually the last milestone is the project management, where this is a milestone that is really happening along all of the milestones at the same time, where our project manager is coordinating different parties or meeting with clients. You as a client, you have direct contact with developers, with engineers, but project manager is helping you to coordinate that and also make sure that the team can focus on finishing the job. Yeah, so the most important part is the table at the end, where we have the total estimate for the PCB design and the total estimate for the firmware development and potential risks. Well, for the whole project in hours, minimum, maximum hours. Regarding the risks, they are listed, and if they're big, we could start from de-risking them. This is a really good indication that something is really needs to be defined better, but they always assume that they're not going to happen. Yeah, so they're really just the risks. Yeah, and everything that is uncertain has been already covered in min and max estimate hourly estimates. Yeah. So the risk can be only used by the team, with dev team, if the client approve given risk by email. Yeah. So although we sending this proposal, we always have to justify why we using it, and we cannot just use those hours without client approval. So that's pretty much the end, the whole proposal, and all of our proposal have this structure. And they have flexibility for the clients to change the milestone that are coming, to add some even content to some milestones if this is not affecting the overall budget, then this will be accepted. If we see that the change will affect the budget, like the min max hours, then we immediately let know the customer that this has to be altered, or the proposal has to be changed or changed in the future. Yeah, so that's a quick overview. Thanks for attention, and invite you to subscribe to this channel and like this video.